Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Beyond the Frame Live. Well, we are definitely in Bowl Expo countdown, Orly.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's kind of the year anniversary of when I rose of like doing all these videos, and before my first expo last year, this is when it all started for me. So it's my 1 year anniversary we're celebrating also.
Yes, and it's your second Bowl Expo, so
Yeah, I'm
that's pretty
excited.
exciting. Well, viewers, we have a very special guest with us today. We have Stephanie Darby, who is the Worldwide Marketing Director for QubicaAMF. Welcome, Stephanie.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, thank you. This is Orly's second Bowl Expo, and he's quite excited about that.
Oh.
Stephanie, I think of QubicaAMF, and I naturally think of Stephanie because you've been a part of QubicaAMF for a long time. You've been going to Bowl Expos. You've been orchestrating Bowl Expos. How long have you been with QubicaAMF?
Well, this is actually my 24th year this month being with the company. So yeah, I started when I was 10.
Yes, I can tell that. I can tell that. And what all do you do at QubicaAMF? I know that's a really large question, but can you share a little bit with the viewers about what your role is at QubicaAMF?
Yeah, so I'm responsible for kind of all things marketing. So anything from digital to social media to advertising, sales tools, trade show, general marketing communications. And I must say we've got kind of the best marketing team here that I get to work with daily, and they are just passionate, creative, and just wonderful at kind of bringing all of our stuff to life. So it's been a fun ride, and it's always something different and new, and yeah, looking forward to what is to come next week.
Yes, yes. Well, I have to say, I've been going to Bowl Expo again, and I started going when I was 10 too, right?
Yeah.
But I've been going for many years to Bowl Expo, and I am always amazed at the QubicaAMF booth. Now, I'm a bit prejudiced because I have been a QubicaAMF customer for many, many, many years, but hands down, the show, the booth, and the whole experience in the booth is just phenomenal. And it seems like every year it just keeps getting better. So can you kind of walk us through the planning, how it all gets started to put on what QubicaAMF puts on at Bowl Expo?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big feat. So this year, before the show starts, we'll actually select booth space for 24. And then, we really start thinking about it in terms of planning and space kind of towards the end of the year. Then we know kind of new products that are going to be coming online the following year, and we can really work on the planning. But it's a big job. So we'll really kind of start the booth planning probably deep next February.
And what's cool is, like, I remember when I went last year, we walk in, I mean, not even an hour early, and there's still people literally banging on things and all over, not just this booth, but like they're still like carrying stuff and picking up, the leftover scraps and all that. And there's people everywhere. How many people go into like the design team that get this booth together?
We've got a pretty big team. I mean, we have our creative director is Federica Gozin. She's out of our office in Bologna, and she is kind of the lead and the genius behind the booth design. And she works closely and really tirelessly with the design team. It is a lot of planning. As you guys know, we're very product focused. So our booth contains a lot of product, and it's product that can be used and demoed, hands-on with customers. So all of that planning has to go in, and then that goes into kind of really the booth flow and how things can be used and how people move through the booth. And then, not the least of the concern is the aesthetic and what the overall booth looks like and kind of the theme. So it's a big process, but we've got a fantastic team.
And one of the things that amazes me is, well, first and foremost, I have to say, you're talking about the installation team, and Orly, you're talking about their hammer and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, the conditions that they're working in, it's hot, especially we're going to be in Orlando. So the humidity, the heat, and a lot of times they're working in a space that there's either very little or no air conditioning, and they're trying to, make something happen in a very short period of time. So that's one thing that just, that fascinates me, but they all seem to really just get along, and they seem to be really enjoying what they're doing. But, when you're talking about aesthetics, one of the things that fascinates me is all the tiny little details that QubicaAMF pays attention to. Those are noticed. Those are definitely noticed. I remember one time walking in, and there was fabric on the walls that had the QubicaAMF logo on it. And actually, I believe the white fabric had bowling pins and a bowling ball on it. And I was like, oh my gosh, they had material made. They had fabric made for QubicaAMF. That amazed me. That amazed me, all the little details. And that goes on all the time. Y'all, the attention to detail that you and your team have, it just is, it's mind boggling. So
and they're fantastic. And we try, we really try every year to push the envelope a little bit, to do something different and something new, but like you said, I mean, I can remember the year that we built the full restaurant, and we built a restaurant from the ground up, including sheetrock, that we painted QubicaAMF red. And that was the year we shipped in decorative rocks to be used on the floor underneath these 2x2 glass panels. And, not the most inexpensive year in terms of our material handling bill, but I mean, it was just, it was just beautiful.
Wow, absolutely. And each year it just keeps getting better. I think of that good to great. Well, we're great to greater in some cases, especially with the booth. We don't go for the good to great. We go from the great to greater sometimes. So it's just fascinating. So, and again, it's a short amount of time that the install team has to do these things, right?
Yeah, I mean, years ago, it was really around the 2.5-day time frame to get the booth completely set up. Now, depending on the facility, we'll get anywhere from 3 to 3.5 days. But that's from the minute the first truck gets unloaded until, people start to walk inside the booth. So it is not a lot of time to turn things around. So
And are you guys literally, is there people grabbing stuff off these trucks, or is it brought in for you?
They bring it in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was curious, is everybody bumping each other trying to go through the doors? Because I mean, even though it's a big arena, there can't be that many doors for everybody to be going through at the same time.
Yeah, luckily, no, we have to schedule our trucks to get there at a certain time, and they get unloaded.
Right.
So at least the stuff gets delivered to our booth.
Oh, that's nice. But it's so nice. You walk in, and I mean, the carpet, people may not realize, but I mean, we get in a little early, but to go in and see that, every morning the carpet is cleaned and everything looks perfect. It looks like you are the first customer to walk in all the time, and that's just very, very impressive. So
has there ever been a night, because I know these ideas, like last year when Dottie was telling me there's going to be this, and I'm thinking at first, I'm like, is she exaggerating some of these things? Because she keeps hyping it up. Are you excited? I'm like, well, I think you're making me really, I hope it's as big as you're making it sound, which it was amazing. Is there any ideas you guys have ever came up with where they're just like, no, we can't do that, that's too crazy?
I will let you know after this year.
oh, wow.
No,
wow.
we've got some good stuff coming this year, but we do a lot. I mean, installing 2 full lanes in this short amount of time is a real job. And then we have, last year, in addition with the 2 full lanes with our edge string machine, we also installed our edge freefall machine, which is really not an easy machine to install in, a couple of days. And then we have the rest of the product in the booth, in the booth structure. So it's a lot of work. But again, we have, we really do have the best team in the industry, probably in any industry. I mean, they are fantastic. They're dedicated, the quality that they do, the pride that they have, it's just amazing.
And it's just a fun environment there too. Like, for instance,
Exactly.
I remember, the lanes are set up, and I'm thinking in my head, maybe like, all these people are from the bowling industry. They're not going to come here to bowl, but they're like excited. Like, can we throw a ball? I'm like, yeah. And then with Hyper Bowl on there last year, they're just like, it's just a fun experience for everybody to go there. And I mean, kids, adults, all ages, everybody was just like, can we throw a ball? I'm like, sure, come on up here. And it's fun. I had a blast last year.
So Stephanie, can you share a little bit about what our viewers might be able to expect this year? I know we're
Yeah.
really excited.
Yes, it is going to be an amazing year once again. We're going to have 2 full lanes of hyperbowling in the booth with our, new USB-C approved edge string machine and demo of the Tech Wizard app. We're going to have full scoring set up on display as usual with, Best X on the lanes and kiosks in the booth to test and demo. And we're going to have a complete, once again, our service and support area of the booth, a dedicated booth with full Genius Bar, our business services team with you guys and our aftermarket team. And then we have a few new things that we will unveil on site.
Okay, well, let's see if we can get a little bit deeper into that. Can you share a little bit about what maybe, I know that we've seen a lot of ads in the magazines, and we've seen a lot on social media about the immersive experience. In fact, customers can actually sign up for the immersive experience.
Absolutely.
Which is actually very cool.
Absolutely. Have you guys signed up yet?
We have not, but we definitely hope we can find a seat.
We know we can probably give you guys a sneak preview before the show starts on Wednesday.
See, Dottie's a lot more nicer than me. I was just going to come out and be like, Stephanie, you need to give us some kind of. So usually when me and Dottie are together, we go somewhere. Everybody's like, oh, it's Dottie and Orly or anything for Dottie and Orly. And we've been trying to get some like inside tips or what's going on or can we see something early? And nobody's budging for us. So we thought maybe you would, but
we're trying to work some magic. But I heard her say that she could get us in early to be able to get a sneak peek. So
there you go.
We're going to hold you to that, just so you know, Stephanie. Watch out.
For you too.
Watch out. Well, that is very exciting. And also, viewers, if you are interested, if you have not already signed up to find out what the immersive experience is and to get a seat, it is limited availability. If you've not signed up, we will put the sign up link in the comments of today's show. So make sure that you're looking at that and sign up earlier rather than later. You don't want to miss this opportunity. Stephanie did clue us in a little bit, and I, for one, am very excited about being able to get in a little early and experience it for myself. And who knows, Orly and I might even decide to go live afterwards and share our thoughts, or our first thoughts on this all new immersive experience. So
and I think this is actually a good opportunity I think we should try to meet up with anybody that we've had on the show in the past, including Stephanie. So yeah, I think if anyone's there that's been on Beyond the Frame, come by and see us. Let's have a little Beyond the Frame reunion. I think that sounds kind of fun.
And Stephanie, there will be a bubble bar, correct?
That's right. Each afternoon, we're going to have a bubble bar and cafe in the booth for everybody to stop by and enjoy, and kind of as they're relaxing at the end of the day and walking the trade show floor.
That's a perfect setting. So anybody that's been a guest on Beyond the Frame, meet us at the QubicaAMF Bubble Bar, and we would love to have a family reunion of all of our previous guests. And you can also enjoy some beverage with QubicaAMF. So
there you go. And Stephanie, I have kind of a behind the scenes question. So everything that gets set up, is that pulled from a certain area, or is it like the same lanes every year, the same machines, or is that like, where's that stuff come from, or where does it go after?
That is a job in and of itself. So yeah, we have a dedicated trade show warehouse and trade show manager who really is in charge and manages all of that. We try to sell the lanes after each show if we can. If we've got a residence or a new center, we'll try to sell those if we can. If not, some of the material we reuse, so we'll bring back and get it ready, pack it up and get it ready for the next show. But that's a big job. It's a lot of equipment, a lot of unpacking, testing, repacking, making sure that we can be as efficient as possible in the number of trucks that we bring back and forth. And that's a big job.
So the trade show, the booth is just one portion of your responsibility for Bowl Expo. So tell us about, I know there's a sponsor pavilion, there's some other activities. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this year we'll have the QubicaAMF Sponsor Pavilion on Monday at 1:30 in the afternoon. So everybody, please stop by. You'll get a sneak peek at some of the latest things that we're going to be showing in the booth, and can kind of maybe get a little leg up on before people get there on Wednesday morning to the trade show floor. And then we also this year, in addition to kind of the bubble bar and cafe, with BPAA, they're doing a raffle, a $50,000 giveaway on Thursday. And I think at 2 o'clock on Thursday afternoon, they're going to do the last drawing on the QubicaAMF hyper bowling lanes for a $30,000 cash giveaway. And must be
Wow.
present to win, and you register through BPAA.
That sounds like
Okay.
fun. I know last year we did the roll off and that was a blast. We made friends there. That was just a good time. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
And they'll be drawing for $30,000. What an appropriate number for QubicaAMF's 30th anniversary.
Yeah, for our 30th anniversary. Yeah, a $30,000 giveaway. So pretty nice.
Nice. That's very nice. And that's not the end of it, right? QubicaAMF wraps it kind of all up for the Bowl Expo attendees on the last day. Have any information you'd like to share about that?
Yeah, so we've got the sponsor pavilion. The Club Expo on Thursday afternoon. It's a nice wrap up. So I think this year it's going to be the band Cheap Trick, but it's just a nice place, a nice time, after 2 days of the show and the days of networking and education and a lot of everything that goes into the event. It's a nice time for people to really be able to kind of unwind together. So it should be fun.
And I'm sure they're not going to have a hard time finding the Cubica booth since we mentioned how big it is, but booth number.
Booth number, our main booth number is 961.
All right.
So we've got a few booths this year.
And that's what I was just going to ask you. How big is the booth this year?
Our booth, total booth space is over 6,000 square feet.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now that's impressive. That is absolutely impressive. So I have to ask you, Stephanie, I think I might have an idea of what the answer may be, but what is your favorite part of Bowl Expo?
I love just the excitement. I mean, we start working on this for, really hard beginning in February, and it's a lot of work that goes into it by a lot of people. A lot of people behind the scenes here, order management, purchasing, shipping, receiving. Then we have all the people that are involved in the actual show setup and the people that run the booth and the salespeople in the booth. But it's nice really to kind of be there. And, you see colleagues that you don't get to see every day. You see people in the industry that you may see once or twice a year. So it's always just a really nice event, get together. I mean, it really feels like a little bit of, family, little bit of a reunion. And so seeing the people's always great. And not to mention all of the, the new products and the educational stuff. I mean, there's just so much to do.
And for some people, it's probably the one time they get to kind of get away, because I've talked to, bowling owners before and they're like, oh, I can't go here, I can't go to that. But I kind of feel like Bowl Expo is the one day they somehow figure out how to get there. So it's like you said, it's probably the one day a year that a lot of staff even gets to meet up and see each other and be in the same place at the same time.
Yeah. And I think it's a great opportunity for centers to network with other centers. And, that's the one thing is I think our industry is fantastic in that, centers share information. Like everybody wants other centers, to do well. So the knowledge sharing, I think is so great. And I think it's a great opportunity at Bowl Expo for people to get together and do that.
Yeah, one of the things that I look forward to every year at Expo is being able to get with our customers, the people that we get to work with on a daily basis and get to meet them sometimes for the very first time. Zoom is wonderful, right? But there's nothing better than being able to shake a hand or pat a back or give a hug, which now, I'm comfortable with again. There's nothing that can replace that. And, QubicaAMF is very much a family oriented, company. And for us, not just to get to see our customers, but to get to see our colleagues. We're a worldwide company. We're spread to, the edge of the earth, right? And this is an opportunity where we get to be together, and it really is like a family reunion of our colleagues, a family reunion of our customers.
Yeah.
And we all know how important family is. So that's exciting for me as well. So
It is. And we, especially when you realize like we went 2 years without being able to do that. So now to have some of our, we'll have our colleagues from, Italy and our different sales offices that'll be joining us, and customers from, outside of the US. So it's really exciting.
yes, it really is. And Stephanie, before we begin to wrap here, I want to say, as someone that has worked in the booth for many years, I just want to give a shout out to all those people that make it happen. Because when I walk in and I'm ready to start, visiting with customers and stuff, every single detail is taken care of. I mean, my computer is loaded, our screens are with the right messaging on it, our brochures are all put out where they're supposed to be. And our job is easy at that point. In fact, our job is very fun at that point. And I have to say, I definitely want to give a shout out to all those people, because I try to let them know how much their efforts are appreciated at the show. But the other thing that I admire about them is when I go in, and the two of you can probably say the same thing, when you go in and they're working tirelessly, and things aren't necessarily going the right way, and they're stressing because the show's going to open in, less than 24 hours, they still look like they're having fun and they're still accomplishing what they are. And that is huge. So it goes back to that feel of being a family, and there's so much to say about that. So I admire and certainly appreciate all that everybody does to make it the show that it is.
Yeah, I mean, they're a amazing team, and they're, a lot of the people that have been involved for decades. And, a lot of us, I mean, it feels like we've grown up together.
Yes.
And they are dedicated and proud, and they do an amazing job in sometimes not so amazing circumstances.
Yes.
But they always manage to do it, and they get it done, and they get it done in a great way. So we couldn't do it without them. I mean, there would be no booth without that team.
Like you
So
said, you guys been doing it since you're 10 years old. So I mean, it's been
That's right. That's
been a
right.
while.
Yes, absolutely. You've grown up with it, right, Stephanie?
That's right.
I have to deviate just a little bit here, because there's another example about QubicaAMF paying attention to the details that I have to bring up, because there's a little bit of a story behind it. I was impressed the first time I went in and the show was not open, and I saw the installation team, and they had on these really cool installation team t-shirts. They were all uniform. They all had these amazing, the logo on the back of the shirt was amazing. And I was so impressed. I must have been walking around with my jaw dropped, right? And I made the comment to the right person. I won't name names because I don't want to get in trouble. I said, I said, you guys are so impressive. It would be such an honor to be able to wear one of those shirts. I treasure my shirt. I have a shirt. I was made an honorary member, and I have my shirt, and I'm very proud of that shirt. But that's, again, the attention to detail that QubicaAMF, the installation team has their own shirt. How impressive.
Well, and you do help out in the booth as well, Dottie. So you do some last minute things too. So technically you're part of the team.
Okay. Well, I love my shirt, and I wear it very proudly. Oh, well, Stephanie, it has really been a pleasure. It is just always so fascinating what goes on behind the scenes. And we know that our viewers can't really fathom. I mean, we get the opportunity to work with so many wonderful people that we're doing this for our customers. We want our customers to have very best experience that they can when they get to Bowl Expo. We want to be able to showcase the amazing products that we have for our customers. And this is really like our Super Bowl, right, of the year. And so thank you for taking time out. I know we are in what I call Bowl Expo mode. It is definitely all hands on deck. I'm not real sure that there's such thing as 8 hours worth of sleep these days, but we are all in that mode. It's going to be an amazing show. And thank you for the dedication that you have to the company and to the customers to bring us a wonderful Bowl Expo every single year.
Well, thank you guys for having me, but for sure, it is definitely a team event. I mean, it is a company-wide project that we work on for a long time. So there are too many names to mention individually, but it is a host of people who, outside of their full-time job, spend a lot of time and energy for this event. But it's a fun event. I mean, it's great. Everybody has a good time. So it's again, kind of like Orly said, it's one of those things where everybody wants to be a part of it, because once you're there, it's so much fun. But it's definitely it takes the full village to make this happen.
Yes, it does. Or in this case, it takes a whole worldwide organization, right?
That's right.
Not just the village. Well, Stephanie, thank you so much. I do look forward to spending time with you next week at Bowl Expo. Viewers, if you have not made plans to be a part of the immersive experience, there are still some seats available. We highly encourage you to sign up as soon as possible. You don't want to be left out. Any Beyond the Frame guests, please make plans. If you can't make it to the Bubble Bar, certainly just stop by and say hello to Orly and I, and come see our booth. You will find Orly floating around all over the place. You will likely find me in the services bar. We would love to chat with you. And if you haven't made plans to be at Bowl Expo, folks, time is running out. If you're not going to be there, Orly and I are going to do what we did last year. We're going to be on the road with Beyond the Frame. If there's something in particular that you need scoped out, if you are wanting to see something particular in our booth, send us a message. We'll be your eyes and we'll be your ears. So follow us, #Expo with me. And if you're not going to be there, I'm sorry, start making plans now for next year. Stephanie does that, so you can do the same thing. So we are very excited, and we look forward to seeing as many of you as possible next week at Bowl Expo. Stephanie, thank you very much. Do you have any last thought that you would like to leave our viewers with?
Well, first, thanks again for having me. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys and everybody else at the show next week. I think it's going to be a fantastic week. I would just say, really take advantage of the show. If you're there, there's so much to offer. So do it. Get in, there's the educational side, there's the booth side, there's the outside events. Take advantage of it. And if you're not there, follow us, because we'll have some post-show material that'll kind of make sure that you really didn't miss that much. So,
Yes.
Stay in the loop.
Yes, and wear comfortable shoes.
Yeah.
That too.
And Stephanie will be around after if you want to give us some, something you might not want to say on camera. Maybe.
Orly, I don't think she's going to give us any more of the scoop. I think, but we're holding her to that sneak peek. So
Yeah.
we got our ringside seat.
That's right. Wednesday morning.
We will be there with bells on. Well, thanks a lot, viewers. We hope everybody has a wonderful afternoon, and we look forward to seeing you next week at International Bowl Expo in Orlando, Florida. Have a good afternoon, everyone.